Now, to Myronize a document is to take the document and add those elegant words. But there's another piece of Myron's professionalism, and that had to do with his courtroom experience. He was the father of the dubinization of a witness. Now, let me explain what that is. Myron once upon a time examined a audit expert witness who was testifying against us. And this witness was an auditor, and he knew what he was trying to say and testify about, and how the client had been misled and had been wrong. Myron knew more about the audit than he did. Myron had studied the rules. Myron even got this witness in front of the jury, in front of the court, on cross-examination, to admit that Myron was right, that our client hadn't done anything wrong. That's to be dubinized. It comes from the Latin, actually it comes from this guy's name, Mr. Doobie. So to be dubinized is to have your case blown apart by Myron's expert, outstanding cross-examination. Now, one must remember that because of Myron's pile system, it was sometimes difficult for him to find things. He seldom could find what he needed in his office, even though it was probably there, but he didn't know really what he was looking for, and he didn't know whether it was really there or not. Secretaries and paralegals were routinely warned about this. One secretary told me that she routinely made 6 copies of everything and would dole them out to him, and in the morning give him 1 copy, and then when he would come back, as she knew he would, right after lunch, and say, "I can't find that copy that you just gave me this morning, please give me another one." She had 6 copies, so you know that wasn't the end of the story. Of course, the classic was another memento. This memento was given to him following a particularly complex case, and it was given to him by the long-suffering paralegals. Just get me what I need now. It goes here. Frost Brown Todd is proud to be able to say that Myron Dale was one of our partners. He was my partner. Tremendous skills, writing skills, courtroom skills. This was Myron's professional side, but the sum of his life is more than his professional civic accomplishments. His real values were always in the right place: family, friends, the community, his church. Many will remember most his personal strength at the end. He was in the office almost every day, always curious, always asking one of our partners, who was our antitrust expert, "What are you working on? What's new? What's happening in the antitrust field today?" Always interested in that, always being the Myron that we all remember and that we all should remember and take from these rooms today. With his passing, each of us in the firm lost a part of our soul in the practice of law. We all have memories and thoughts of those Myron encounters, those we are fortunate to keep. His was truly a life well lived.
Good afternoon and welcome all. I'm Mitchell Dale, Myron's twin brother. I first want to say that our mother, Kathleen Dale Foreman, and our stepdad, Bob Foreman, cannot be with us here today. Some weeks ago, my mother slipped and fell and broke her hip and her wrist, and per her doctor's orders, she's not permitted to travel. And she, of course, is devastated by that she can't be here. So especially on her behalf, I just want to say how pleased and grateful we are that so many of you have chosen to brave the cold weather and come to this beautiful sanctuary to pay final respects to Myron. When I sat down to think about what I might say today, I quickly realized that Myron had so many stellar qualities that giving him his due posed an oratorical challenge. And of course, as it happens, Myron was the most eloquent of us all. And so it always fell to him to do most of the heavy lifting when it came to family eulogies. But what I can say is that you could never have a better friend in the world than Myron, and he was perhaps the finest person I ever knew. Many of you probably know about Myron's numerous civic and professional accomplishments, so I'd like to share briefly some of the memorable highlights from Myron's earlier years. Myron and I, our sister Kathy, and our deceased sister Holly were all born in Cincinnati. We attended Clifton Elementary School. As kids, Myron and I were active in the Boy Scouts. We were members of Troop 161, sponsored by the Clifton Methodist Church, which reputedly is the oldest active scout troop in the country. In 1963, at the age of 14, Myron and I received our Eagle Scout Award. As an inducement and also a reward for earning all those merit badges, our parents decided they would send us on a trip to the World Boy Scout Jamboree, which was a 2-week encampment of thousands of scouts from all over the globe on the plains of Marathon in Greece. We traveled with a contingent of some 40 other scouts from Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana. From the Jamboree, we would issue daily reports to the Cincinnati Enquirer for publication, and we even got our picture in the paper. In addition to the Jamboree itself, our group traveled to Athens, Mycenae, Corinth, Rome, Lucerne, Lausanne, and London. It was just a marvelous experience. Myron and I went to Walnut Hills High School, where he scored something of a hat trick. He was the president of our sophomore class. He was the president of our junior class. And as a senior, he was president of the student council. My recollection, and by all accounts, is that Myron acquitted himself superbly in these leadership positions. After high school, Myron went on to Yale University, where he graduated in 1971 with a Bachelor of Arts degree cum laude in American Studies. He also rowed for the Yale Lightweight Crew, and in the run-up to his senior year, he was selected as captain of the crew. Unfortunately, in the fall of 1970, he broke his arm playing football, so he was replaced as captain because he had to sit out that entire season. Particularly memorable about Myron's college years was what he did in the summer. In the summer after his sophomore year, he served as an intern in Mayor Kevin White's Little City Halls program in Boston, which Myron claimed was a marvelous primer on the mechanics of local government. The following summer, after his junior year, he took a position in the city of Seward on the Kenai Peninsula in Alaska. His job was to assist the local district attorney in apprehending and prosecuting poachers. Also, because Myron had a bit of baseball in his background, he served as the radio play-by-play announcer and color commentator for the Kenai Oilers, the local AA baseball team. This was typical of Myron, always seeking out challenging adventures. After graduating from Yale, Myron moved to San Francisco, where he did research and writing for the National Council on Crime and Delinquency. He also did a stint with Al Lowenstein's Registration Summer project, organizing campus concerts / voter registration rallies in Palo Alto, Seattle, Milwaukee, Bloomington, and elsewhere. In 1972, Myron and I began law school at the Georgetown University Law Center. Law school was a total grind, so to relieve the tedium, Myron and his roommate,